As moms, we're wired to respond to our child's tears. We feel like we need to solve their problem when they're crying. Hi, I'm Rachel from 7 and All, and this is Homeschool for Real, a series that is about real homeschool battles, offering real advice for what you do when your homeschool is not nearly as idyllic or as happy as you pictured it would be. So today we're going to be talking about tears and crying. My husband is from a family of all brothers. When he entered my family about 10 years ago now, into this family which now has 7 sisters, one thing that really shocked him was the amount of tears in each and every day. So are we a bunch of crybabies or what? Not really, but many of us inherited from our mom the habit of crying when we're very touched by the beauty of what we're reading. In our family, during read aloud time, it's very common for the person who's reading aloud to have to stop for a few moments because of getting too choked up by what's happening in the story to be able to go on. I mean, I don't even like spiders, but I think you would have to have a heart of stone to get through the end of Charlotte's Web without tearing up. Tears? Appropriate tears should be at home in our homeschools. Sometimes you will discover the beauty of creation together, and at other times you will discover the utter vileness of mankind as you study history. Sometimes the only appropriate response is to weep when you read about tragedies that have long passed. And other times you accidentally staple your fingers, and that brings a few tears too. Tears from pain, tears caused by beautiful moments, or tears from rage at oppression and injustice, these are not the tears that should worry us. But what about those other tears? What about tears that result from rebellion against even having to do schoolwork in the first place? Why do some kids cry so much when it's school time? Why do they spend so much time and energy crying and whining about having to do their schoolwork, or about having to do it well because they got half of it wrong? Sometimes it's a way to punish their parent for even having the gall to make them do schoolwork in the first place. Sometimes it's a form of protest of sorts. You know your child, and you're probably going to know their reason the best. So what do you do with the child who cries when they're asked to do their schoolwork? Or who cries inconsolably when asked to redo some math problems that they got wrong? Well, one strategy is, if they're crying for sympathy and you suspect that they're crying to try to get out of schoolwork, you can let them cry. You don't have to let all of your attention be swayed by their crying. You can allow them to go to another room, to take some breaths, give them some time to calm down before coming back and continuing with schoolwork. If your child is trying to get sympathy and trying to get out of schoolwork by using tears, if you show not a harsh response, but just it's okay to cry, and it's okay to calm yourself down, and you can come back and you can work on this when you're calm again type of response, then they're going to realize that crying isn't going to get them what they want, and they'll probably stop. Although they may just try to start using a different strategy to get out of schoolwork. Kids are kids. The second tip for dealing with tears is that during times of non-conflict, or when they're not crying, talk about values of bravery, courage, and fortitude. Now for me, I've lived too long. Redoing a math sheet because I got most of it wrong is not the greatest hardship I've ever faced. But for your child, it may very well be the biggest hardship they've faced yet. So talk about these values with your child. Encourage them that they can do hard things. And not at the moment, but during other times, use these times as examples. Hey, remember when you had to redo that math worksheet and you felt like you couldn't, but you did it. You can do tough stuff. Another strategy that you can use with the crying child is to give your child an alternate response than crying. Words are usually a good choice. Encourage your child to use words to describe what they're feeling rather than just sobbing away for minutes at a time. So if you can give them examples and they can start to begin to communicate with you, Their words might be something like, I feel like if I have to do these 10 math problems, I'm never going to get to play with my toys, or I'm never going to get to have any fun today. And then you'll be able to respond in an age-appropriate manner, in a manner that they can understand and that applies to the situation and what they're actually feeling, instead of just making assumptions about it. Because sometimes we don't exactly know what they're feeling. So if a child responds like that they're worried if they have to do their schoolwork more, that they're not going to have enough time for fun, you can even respond in a really practical manner like, well, let's look at the clock. Let's see how long does it take to cry and how long does it take to do 10 math problems. And we can see which seems to be the better time-conscious choice if that's your child's worry. And one last idea is sometimes you just got to put the assignment away for the day. Being educated is a privilege, and that is something that we should communicate to our children. And sometimes kids are not in the right mood at the time that they can really appreciate that privilege or be thankful for it. And you can talk to your child about that. Not necessarily in a punitive or frustrated way, although you may very well feel frustrated when you get to that point. But there does come a point when you have to say, okay, we're going to put this away for today. You're not going to be able to get your heart and your mind in the right mindset for learning and education. We'll try again. Maybe tomorrow you will feel in a place where you can be thankful for the chance at an education, something that's going to help you for the whole rest of your life. So we'll try again tomorrow. So I hope that this has been helpful in giving you some ideas. You can definitely leave ideas in the comments if you've found ways to help deal with frustrated crying or kids who just respond to any type of correction in their schoolwork with crying. You can leave your tips and strategies in the comments below. And if you have any ideas that you'd like us to tackle of certain behavioral topics, classroom management for homeschoolers topics in this series, go ahead and leave those in the comments too. We'd love to have your input as we develop this series. Tune in again next Friday for the next episode of Homeschool for Real with 7 and All. And like this video and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss all of our content as well. Bye.